How did we get here? We took every precaution to avoid becoming single parents. We attended marriage counseling, created a no divorce pact, and always presented a united front in front of the kids. We did everything emotionally possible to safeguard our family, but we overlooked one critical aspect: our health. As the saying goes, when we fail to plan, we plan to fail. And despite our best efforts, we never anticipated one of us outliving the other while our children were still young. My lover, business partner, best friend, and husband, as we sat in the doctor's office those 7 months ago, hearing, "Mr. Bunch, you have alveolar rhabdomyosarcoma, stage 4. This string of words rang a deafening tone in our ears. It's a cancer that affects mostly children, but less than 50 adults worldwide get it a year. Oh, great, I thought. So basically, Doc, what you're telling me is you have no idea how to treat it, and anything you offer us is going to be a shot in the dark. Yeah, that sounds about right. Great. Well, today is April 12th. Easter Sunday 2020. COVID has eliminated the presence of my pastor's audience, so he is preaching to an empty room at church, but a packed televised audience worldwide. As we watch him live on YouTube, we hear, "Sergeant First Class Omar Bunch, brother, we're praying for you." My husband, Omar, a once 220-pound force of muscle to be reckoned with, is now deflated to a 145-pound bag of bones. I was caught between remembering and annotating his round-the-clock list of meds and holding back tears and fears. Laying on the bed, his breath is shallow and labored. He looks out of our picture window at the cherry blossoms that are in full bloom this time of the year. He is fixated on it, and I'm fixated on him. My mind snaps back to the reality of the situation as I hear a knock at the door. I can't even leave the room to answer it, as the moment I leave, my husband always tries to get up, and his 145-pound frail frame cannot support itself. My daughter lets herself in, full face mask, gloves and all, and brings us the most coveted thing of 2020: toilet paper. "Sit with your dad," I said, "so I can go to the bathroom." I grab the toilet paper, I go into the bathroom, I shut the door. I didn't even have to go. I just needed a moment to myself. And as I emerge, I hear, "Ugh!" This is my husband's new form of communication. He is unintelligible now about 95% of the time. And I had the epiphany to have my daughter read a book from the Bible. "Read the Psalms," I say. He loves the Psalms. "No." "Okay, maybe he doesn't want the Psalms. What would you like to hear, dear?" I ask. "Gospels." My daughter nervously stumbles through to find the Gospels. My husband very lucidly says, "Do you hear that?" In shock, I look at him. I prayed for God to give me the man that I married just one more time. And he says again, "Do you hear that?" Now he's dancing in the bed, and anyone who knows my husband knows he is not a dancer. Wanting to hold on to this moment for as long as possible, I reply, "Yes, I hear it." And I start singing, "Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. You in my hut now." Say what? This was one of his favorite house songs back in the 90s. We moved to the music together, and when I could no longer remember the words as quickly as it came, his lucidity left. My daughter begins to read in the book of Matthew, the record of the genealogy of Jesus, the Messiah. And I lay next to him as he continued his labored breathing. I began reminiscing and reminding him of the times when we were so broke that we would go to the mall and sit on the benches with our food that we brought from home and people watch. Yes, we would talk about everyone who passed by. These were some of the best times that we had back then in brokedom. Remembering these times, just sitting there with my best friend was so beautiful. The word jolted me back to the present time. My daughter, who was in the Gospel of Mark by now, stopped abruptly. He looked up at the ceiling and said it again. Lion! You see a lion, I said. Do you see Jesus? He just smiled and closed his eyes, his breathing still labored. I continued to reminisce until I dozed off to sleep. And as I awake to my daughter now halfway into the book of Luke, the clock reads 10:47 p.m. and his labored breathing is now no more. He is now in the presence of Jesus, which, quite frankly, I think it was a place that he really longed to be. Despite our best efforts to safeguard our marriage and family, we overlooked our health. Now I face the heartbreaking reality of living without my husband while our youngest is still young. This season has taught me that prioritizing my well-being is not just a nicety, but it's a necessity, not only for our children's future, but also to help others avoid going through the same.